right, folks. So I told y'all in the 6.5 years that we've launched this show and the network. I have had numerous meetings with major corporations and with ad agencies. And I'm talking about Group M. I'm talking about Dentsu. I'm talking about Publicis. I'm talking about IPG.
Look, how you feel?
I mean, I can go on and on and on and on and on, all of these different agencies that we've met with. And you know what many of them have told me? We don't buy news. We don't buy news. We don't buy news. McDonald's, we don't buy news. I've met with JP Morgan Chase, flew to New York, all these companies. And it's amazing how folks say, we don't buy news. Well, the Financial Times dropped this story right here, and I'm gonna show y'all right now. And if y'all wanna understand the lies being told, it's right here. Blue chip advertisers flock to Fox News following Trump return. Viewer numbers have soared in past year, prompting many companies to return to the Murdoch-owned channel. So when you go into this story, Fox News has attracted 125 new blue chip advertisers since the U.S. election. And what does it say? Companies include Amazon, GE Vernova, JP Morgan Chase, Netflix, and UBS have recently aired advertisements on Fox News for the first time in the last 2 years. Jeff Collins, Fox Corp's president of ad sales, said historically after an election, networks will see ratings dip. When we saw an acceleration in ratings, we saw new advertisers coming in. Well, guess what, y'all? We've seen a dramatic increase in our numbers since the election. Haven't seen any of these companies advertise. See, I've been telling y'all, I need y'all to understand something, because see, some of these Simple Simon Negroes love to sit here and say, see, man, there you go, you big and white man for money. Well, first of all, any dumbass that says that doesn't understand the media business, because the media business is driven by advertising. Every media company, Disney, Comcast, Fox, all of them, Sinclair, run the line, Salem, all of them, iHeart, they all run on advertising. Nearly $400 billion is spent every year on advertising. Black-owned media gets anywhere from 0.5 to 1% of the advertising money. Now, I've talked about this stuff in the last 6 years. And what happens is whenever I bring this up, it's amazing how it doesn't get much traction. Folk don't click the like button. They don't hit the button on YouTube, all that sort of stuff like this. But if I post some bullshit, oh my goodness, it's amazing how it takes off. But this right here, this story right here is primarily why black-owned media doesn't grow. In 2018, former Fox host Tucker Carlson's on-air comments about immigrants making the U.S. poorer and dirtier spurred big brands such as T-Mobile to pull ads from its program. T-Mobile ain't never advertised on here, even though I sit their ads $480 this month for the goddamn cell phone bill. So I spend more money on T-Mobile than they spend here. So what I'm trying to lay out to y'all is this story right here. Not a single one of these brands, not a single one of these companies and not a single one of their agencies can then tell me, oh no, we don't buy news. We don't buy news. Well, if y'all don't do opinion, why y'all buying Fox News? And I don't want to hear this nonsense, well, Fox News has news shows. No, they don't. Fox and Friends ain't a news show. Bill Hemmer and Dana Perino ain't a news show. The Five is not a news show. Fox News, 24 hours, 7 days a week, is a propaganda network. But these companies will spend millions of dollars with them. Greg, I know you got to go at the top, but I want to go ahead and go to you first. This is precisely what I have been saying. This is how right-wing media and mainstream white media is funded. The reality is this here. If you take MSNBC, CNN, and Fox News, those three networks combined do in excess of $2.5 to $3 billion, not in revenue, in profit. In profit. And this is why we can have more shows, bigger shows, more hosts, do marketing, have more writers, because they will tell us, and I have been in the meetings, and I'm going to say it again, Publicists, how much have we gotten? Zero. Group M, even when they had a black CEO, got zero. Horizon, zero. OMD, zero. Dentsu, zero. And by the way, the General Motors money we got was not because of Dentsu. That was because I negotiated directly with General Motors. But this is an example of how they lie to us. We don't buy news, but they will pour money into a Fox News.
Absolutely, because they know they're soft white nationalists and they are protecting whiteness, and they know whiteness is always going to be there for them. But I had to say this to you, Roland, and I'm glad they say I didn't step out for a second, but I want to say this here for everybody can hear. You know, like I said, I was in Atlanta this weekend. I was over at Morehouse, and then I did something for the Howard University alumni, raising money for students because the tuition is too damn high everywhere, including this campus. And I took the MARTA. I took the train. I like to ride public transit. Get around. I ran into no fewer, probably 5 or 6 different people who were like, tell Roland, keep doing what you're doing. Keep fighting, brother. Keep fighting. Same thing when I was in Montgomery week before last with Fred Gray at the Fred Gray Symposium. The same thing. I'm saying all that to say this. When Carter G. Woodson couldn't get the grants from the white foundations, he got a little bit of money here, a little bit of money there. And finally he said, you know what am I doing? They don't fund this kind of thing. Those institutions that you have gone to time and again and will continue to fight, they fund whiteness. Woodson said, they're not going to fund me, and I don't want them to fund me. His independence, the Association for the Study of African-American Life and History, was based on nickels and dimes for school children, from black educators, from black churches, from black folk who gave money. And that institution continues to this day. There is no Black History Month without Asala, and there's no Asala without the black community. I'm saying this, all that to say this, Roland. As you continue to wage this war, and I saw something you put on social media, I just saw it, where you said, oh, y'all want to stop all the DEI at Michigan? If those black players stop playing, I bet you run back. Watch this, y'all. We are at a moment when everybody's true colors are being revealed. And as this thing continues to catch momentum, all those years you have spent since you built the Black Star Network, on the road with the Rollmobile, helping organize, having forums, all the places you show up, live streaming, everything from the Celebration Bowl to town halls and forums, all that stuff begins to pay off as people look for a place to come. We saw what happened to Joy Reid. We saw what happened to Tiffany Cross and everybody else on these other spaces. But guess what? This ain't that. And as the thing continues to capsize and remake itself, it will be the independent black institutions that are going to thrive. And this is going to be the place where those narratives are collected and broadcast. So I don't think we have to worry. We just got to stay on that, keep on that path, brother.
Indeed. So, Greg, I know you got to go. I appreciate it. Thank you so very much.
Love you, man. See y'all later.
I'm going to go to you, Nola. I'm going to go back to my iPad, Henry. It says consumer goods, first of all, it says from 2018 to through 2020, some advertisers had a, quote, no air list of Fox News programs they wanted to avoid. According to a person close to the company, these tended to be opinion shows, such as Tucker Carlson's nightly program, the person added. Consumer goods company Procter & Gamble, one of the largest advertisers in the United States, stopped running ads during Carlson's nightly show, but returned to that slot in 2023 after he was ousted from Fox. P&G said its ads appear on a wide range of media that deliver a breadth of content. We constantly monitor advertising placement to ensure the media companies from which we buy ads meet these standards and address any potential issues directly with the appropriate parties. Now, a couple of years ago, we actually had a partnership with Procter & Gamble. We advertised we actually broadcast from the Cincinnati Music Festival, covered the event down there. Haven't done anything since, even though we deliver the numbers. And I remember the CMO the CMO of Procter & Gamble at a conference of black radio executives actually said that what we did was a great way of delivering value. Mark Pritchard, here's the problem. They ain't spent $1 with us since. Now, we've had meetings, but I keep telling these companies and these agencies, I can't deposit meetings. And at those meetings, I'm the only one in that meeting not getting paid. They getting paid to be in the meeting, not me.
Listen, they will pick your brain to death, honey, and not pay you a dime. But I'm glad we're having this conversation, especially as new media seems to be all the buzz and everybody's using that terminology. I loved everything that Greg said, and I am going to invoke his prophetic voice, and speaking life into, this is where people will come. This is where people will come to get their information, their news. This is where people will come to be in community. And so I'm going to speak that life into that. But, this is a really important point as people are trying to think about, I'm part of a group called Persist, and still in the messaging world. I can tell you from Persist and all over the place in the national security community, so many conversations are being had about, okay, how do we do this new media thing? Everybody's trying to figure out where we're going to get money from. How do we do it? How do we match what the Republicans did for the last presidential cycle? How do we find money for content creators? How do we find money for influencers? How do we reshape this news ecosystem? And here you sit, Roland, you've been ahead of the game in that regard. But this is, to Greg's point, this is a pivot. This is a time of change. And everyone is recognizing that the media landscape is changing, and they are going to feel it. This is my prediction, my prophetic voice. The same way Target's sitting up there looking crazy, and this is the only thing that's going to get through to them. They gonna continue. All right, y'all keep playing. Y'all keep giving y'all money to these divisive, racist people. And guess what? When your little product's not selling, you gonna wonder why. You gonna FAFO your way out of that job on the board. Like, I'm just here to warn companies, Black people, we are using our resources very differently. And if you don't support us, we will not support you.
See, here's the thing, Reese. I believe in just calling a thing, okay? And so here's an article right here. It says 2024 top agencies in the world by revenue. And then it says the top 15 agencies in the world. And you see right here, WPP, Accenture Song, Publicis, Omnicom, Deloitte Digital, Interpublic, group of companies, Dentsu, Blue Focus Communications Group, IBM, IX, Hakuhodo, Shell, Vivendi's, Havas, TCS, Interactive, Stagwell, InterOcean Worldwide. And see, underneath that, they own a whole bunch of other agencies, okay? So what people need to understand is that in the agency game, what they do is they actually, they own a lot of stuff. They buy a lot of stuff. And so what happens is they actually own all the different agencies. And so it's called the Big Five holding companies. Go back to my iPad, WPP, Omnicom, Publicis, Interpublic, and Dentsu. So you take a group M, they're under one of those particular companies, okay? Now, again, I need everybody who's watching and listening to understand what I am telling you. I have personally met with Group M. When Kirk McDonald was the CEO, a brother, we met with them, okay? I met with the whole team. If I could start naming names, I start naming names. I've met with Dentsu. I've met with the chief investment officers of OMD. I've met with folks at Publicis. I've met with the folks at Interpublic Group. What has been the result? Now, mind you, what do we have? We have the largest Black news and information network, digital network in the country. Nobody else is doing what we're doing. Byron Allen has shut down his Grio TV linear network. Shut it down. Nearly laid everybody off. Okay? They ain't doing it. Essence has the Essence Music Festival. That's a 3-day event. They ain't doing what we doing every single day. It's no shade, it's a fact. Ebony is not doing what we do every day. Blavity is not doing with what we do every single day. Reese, I literally was on a phone call today with 3 different people talking about the creation of a black business vertical to cover black news. Because the fact of the matter is, Black Enterprise is really a conference company. They don't cover black news the way they used to. I literally was with another company talking about the creation of a black health show, a black fitness show. These are non-news items. I was talking with several writers about being able, right now, I've already agreed to a black-owned company, Quantasy, to completely redo blackstarnetwork.com, and that will be turned into a news portal. But none of these things can happen if you can't grow revenue to be able to hire more people. I have a plan as we speak right now that if $5 million additional dollars comes into our company every single year, I can literally hire 25 to 30 new people to expand what we do. But what I hear from every single one of these companies, Reese, dating back to 2020, because see, I knew we launched September 4th, 2018. I knew that was the end of the year. I knew all of 19, I would not have had the data to back up why they should spend with us. But when 2020 hit, had all the data. And here's the reality. All of these agencies, $0 have been spent. And out of the brands that have done stuff with us, Procter & Gamble, once, McDonald's, once, General Motors, current deal, this is now the multiple deals. The only, Pepsi met with all they folks, nothing happened. The only company that has consistently partnered with us since 2020 has been Coca-Cola. But every single one of these agencies, they have shut the door and given us nothing but lip service. And this right here is why black-owned media will never be able to grow, because these agencies that are largely white executives will gladly send that money to Fox News and Fox Corporation and don't care if they are right-wing, MAGA, Trump-loving conservatives, but will look at us and say, oh, no, we can't buy news. We can't buy news.
Send it to Aaron loving hip hop and the other stuff. Now you already know, Roland. I watch that junk, that crap. But black mess is safe enough for them to spend money with. So why isn't black news safe enough to spend money with? Because that is not aligned with their goals. Actually, their goals is not to help cultivate an informed and empowered and politically engaged Black audience, because their benefactors in the federal and state and local government are not the people that our people support. And so they'll play the game and they'll pretend and they'll have all these pretexts for why they can't support this, but the rules don't apply to the white side. But this is a prime example of why it irks my soul when you hear Democrats like Gavin Newsom talk about how, well, we need to sit down and we need to have a conversation with a Steve Bannon or a Charlie Kirk because they figured out something that we haven't figured out. What they have figured out, the only thing that these white boys have figured out is how to get, I won't even say figure out, but what they have working for them is that they are heavily funded. When you have $100 million behind you, hell yeah, a lot of people are going to listen. It's not that they are organically bigger. It's not that they have better ideas, that they're more articulate, that they're more compelling, that they're more convincing. It's that they have the money behind them. Point blank and the period. That is the only difference between why the Republicans have an information ecosystem, a disinformation ecosystem, why they have the massive numbers on their side is because they pay for it. And Democrats and people of conscience still want to rely on the goodness of all of our hearts to do this work. to not compensate people, to give people talking points, but again, not give them the resources to actually get their message across. It's that everybody thinks that we're just supposed to be bleeding hearts for
Yep.
this when this is a business. And it only seems to be a problem to be a business when Black people are involved, but it's not a problem to be in business when you're talking about white people and racist ideologies. Then all of a sudden, that ain't a problem. Ain't a problem for them to get paid, ain't a problem for them to get money. And that's the disconnect that we have to figure out. If the ad revenue isn't going to come in there, then hell, I don't think that OAN and Turning Point USA and all that shit, they wasn't getting the ad money, but they still got funded.
Yep.
But who's going to fund us? That's the question, without trying to handcuff us.
So let me explain to the audience what's about to happen. First of all, there are 6 major advertising holding companies. Don't go to that yet. No, there are 6 holding companies: WPP, Omnicom, Publicis Group, Interpublic Group, Dentsu, and Havas. Those are the 6. I'm letting all of y'all know we have sat down, Black Star Network, me personally, as well as our partners with Urban Edge Network, all 6 of them. What have we received? 0.
That's crazy.
0. Y'all, I don't think y'all understand what I'm saying. I didn't say from the agencies we received 100,000, 50,000, 25,000. We've received 0. It's actually cost me more money because I've flown to New York and I've had to pay people to put together presentations for them than they've actually spent. Now go to my iPad. Now there are individual agencies under these 6. You got Ogilvy, 0 from them. McCann World Group, 0 from them. Leo Burnett, 0 from them. Saatchi and Saatchi, 0. Wheaton and Kennedy, 0. BBDO, 0. TBWA, 0. Droga 5, 0. Gray Group, 0. VMLY&R, they've called me a couple of times to help them land a client, and guess what? Not a single dollar from that client came. Donor, 0. FCB Global, 0. Marketing Architects, the ad agency, Play Creative, DDB, 0. McKinney, 0. All of these folks. So I just need y'all to understand the money game. I need y'all to understand why Ebony went through all of his drama when John H. Johnson died, because Ebony was getting $20,000 for a full-page ad when Esquire, a smaller magazine, was getting $200,000 for a full-page ad. All y'all out there, I heard all y'all Negroes, y'all remember Bob Johnson, Sheila Johnson, they sold out. See, y'all don't understand the game, because guess what? In Brett Pulley's book on the billion-dollar bet, the unauthorized biography of Bob Johnson and BET, when they were being sold to Viacom, Mel Karmazin, the CEO, as well as Sumner Redstone, discovered that BET was getting paid $1,500 for the same 30-second spot that MTV was getting paid $8,000 for. BET was sold for $2.4 billion and $400 million in debt. The total sale price was $2.8 billion. Well, guess what? If Bob and Sheila Johnson, then married, if they were not being impacted by the black tax, if they were getting fair market value for their ads, that means that if they were getting the $8,000 instead of $1,500, Bob and Sheila Johnson could have actually sold 1/3 of BET for the same $2.8 billion and still today be the majority owners of BET. This is what happens even when we do get the ads, there's a black tax involved. So to the audience, this is what is going to happen. Over the next week, and I've already made it clear to my team, we're going to record Fox News 24 hours a day. And we're going to record every program on Fox. And we're going to write down every single blue chip advertiser that runs ads on Fox. I ain't talking about them 1-800 commercials, because that ain't what I'm talking about. And what we're then going to do is we're going to contact every single one of those blue chip advertisers, and we're going to ask them and their agencies, we have a question. We noticed that you buy Fox News. What black-owned news brands do you also buy? And I'm going to be waiting for them to say, we don't buy any news. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to come on this show and go on social media and tell all of you what every single one of those brands and what every single one of those agencies said. Because if you are a brand, JP Morgan Chase, UBS, Amazon, and others, if you are putting your money on Fox News, then you should have no problem putting your money on black news and information, black-owned news and information. So, to all the agencies and all the brands, do understand, I have hereby served notice. We are watching, and we are going to tell our audience exactly who you support with your ad dollars, and ask the question, are black people not good enough for your ad dollars as well?